Most of us like to spend a couple of hundred, maybe even a couple of £1,000 sprucing up our homes, perhaps giving the walls a lick of paint from time to time. But the walls of this church have recently received a £1 million overhaul. Find out why and where I am in just a couple of moments. Today, one half of our couple may still need some convincing when it comes to country life.
Okay.
Fine.
You know me and Beams. There's lots of them. It's a nice room, but not what I imagined, really.
But things start to change pretty quickly.
It's huge. I really love the balcony. Thank you, Johnny. Whoa!
Wow.
Love it. When are we moving in?
Today we're in Oxfordshire, and this is the Grade 1 listed St Mary's Church in Chalgrove, which features a unique set of paintings thought to date back to around 1320. Now, the images depicting the story of Jesus Christ, the Virgin Mary and the Day of Judgment were actually lime-washed over during the Reformation and weren't discovered until later on in the mid-19th century. But it wasn't until a year ago when a major £1 million project to conserve and restore the entire church got underway, faithfully restoring these beautiful images to their former glory. Oxfordshire is a landlocked county near the centre of southern England. Although arguably most famous for the renowned seat of learning that is Oxford University, the area is also home to a beautiful tapestry of landscape, thanks to 3 areas of outstanding natural beauty that encroach upon its borders. These include the rolling hills of the Cotswolds in the west and the glorious countryside of the Chilterns in the east. Sandwiched between the two lies the medieval market town of Abingdon, which the River Thames flows through on its way to London. St Helens Wharf was one of the principal trading wharves on this part of the river, and the nearby medieval houses belonged to the successful merchants and businessmen of the day. Further south, the Uffington White Horse is a 3,000-year-old chalk figure cut into the landscape that watches over the village of the same name. The village church is worth a visit, known locally as the Cathedral of the Vale. All this means that Oxfordshire has plenty to offer both visitors and those with a more permanent stay in mind. When it comes to buying properties in Oxfordshire, well, I can tell you, it is not cheap. The average price for a detached house in this county comes in at around £523,000. That's well over £200,000 above the national figure. And South Oxfordshire's Vale of White Horse can be expecting even more new buyers to the area in the near future, with plans in place to create 20,000 new homes for 20,000 new jobs in the science and technology sectors. So, great prospects, beautiful houses in gorgeous countryside. Looks like today's buyers could be facing some stiff competition. Security consultant Chris and writer and graphic designer Aileen from Wimbledon in London have been married for about 10 years, but thanks to Chris's job, have rarely been under the same roof for long.
We've been apart a long time. He works abroad. He's been working abroad for quite a few years. So when he comes back, it's you know, we're trying to cram in a lot of that time that he's away into a short space of time. And we have a lot of fun doing it.
They first met over food when Chris found out about Aileen's culinary skills.
I heard that there was some free food going at the local church, and unfortunately, not enough noodles had been made. And I did start to complain, and unfortunately for me, the lady behind me, who now turns out to be my wife, confessed that she was the one who'd made them. And that's where it all began.
Living in South London has been a lot of fun, but country-born Chris is keen to return to a more rural lifestyle, and Aileen always said they could move as soon as he stopped working abroad.
I did promise him that if ever he came back for good, that we would move to the country. And Oxfordshire was one of the places I absolutely adore and love.
And they already know what they're most looking forward to.
I would love that I will wake up in the morning and hear bird song in the back and my chickens, you know, clucking away.
I want to be able to look out of my window and see a frost-laden grass and tree landscape before me rather than a pile of cars outside with frost on the windows.
But city girl Aileen is going to find it hard to leave her beloved London behind.
I always say I'm a city slicker, not a country bumpkin. And so I just think I always think that London is like perfect, has been perfect for me for such a long time. So this will be a big change for me moving to the country, and I don't mind it because I really want to have chickens as well. You can't do that in London. The only thing I think is I will probably miss the big sales in London and all those things.
One thing that won't change is Aileen's love of entertaining and opening their home to everyone she meets.
I am a social creature. There's nothing more I love than having this house full of people. I love cooking, I love entertaining, I love the hubbub of, people around, because I just think, well, this is life, isn't it, really? Why be a hermit?
I think that's one of the reasons why I want to move out of London, is that I'll have Aileen to myself instead of having to share her with everybody else.
You still have to share me with everybody else.
Yeah, but I think it'll be different, and that's what I want, to have Aileen for myself a little bit.
Oh.
Chris grew up in Oxfordshire, and since it's not too far from London for Aileen, it seems like the perfect place for our couple. But before we go any further, we're all meeting up, including a freshly shaven Chris, to find out what they're both hoping for in their new home. Chris and Aileen, welcome to a rather damp start to an Oxfordshire day.
Yes.
Now, little birdie tells me, Aileen, that you're here almost kicking and screaming. You can't get London out your blood?
I'm a city slicker, I'm afraid.
So what kind of property is going to convince you that Oxfordshire is the place for you to come and live? What environment would you like to live in?
Village location, preferably. We can still get, stuck into the community and, get involved in things.
Let's talk about the wish list. What kind of house are we looking for?
We want a detached house, 3 to 4 bedrooms,
Okay.
and a bit of ground to give that extra bit of isolation.
How big does this garden need to be?
I think half an acre should do the trick.
Half an acre. Do you know what half an acre looks like?
Well, I don't actually know, size-wise what that means, actually.
You see what I mean? People always say, oh, I want half an acre. OK, you mow half an acre every week.
He will mow half an acre every week.
One of the things I've always told Aileen is I want to have one of those lawn mowers that you have to sit on to mow it.
Right.
And I think that will meet the bill unless she fills it up with plants and trees and stuff.
OK, talk me through the must-haves. What must you have with this house?
For me, a nice big kitchen. I love entertaining. I love having friends over, family over.
So entertaining space, definitely.
Yeah.
You want the 3 to 4 bedrooms. So what about renting a couple of rooms out? Have you thought about doing something different in your lives?
We did think about, maybe do a B&B that we can get some income out of it.
You never know. Sometimes there's an old barn or there might be an old annex you might be able to do something with. Style of property.
Beams are the big bugbear of Aileen.
Really?
Well, I don't mind in one room, perhaps, if it's an older part of a house or something, but not in every single room.
OK.
That would really just kill me.
Let's talk budget. How much are you looking to spend here in Oxfordshire?
Between 700,000 and 900,000, something like that. We'll go down the middle line about 800,000.
Why have you got such a broad range?
Because we're not sure when the house on Wimbledon sells what we're going to do from a case of investing the rest of the money that we may or may not make from it.
It's a big range, but then I might find you something that
is less perfect.
Not necessarily less, but requires a bit of work to be done on it. So we've got that buffer zone.
No problem.
OK, well, look, we've got 3 very different properties, and hopefully one of these properties is going to convince you that Oxfordshire is the place to come to.
Perfect.
Ready to get started?
Yes.
Shall we go?
Let's go.
With a budget range of £700,000 to £900,000, Chris and Aileen are looking for a detached property with a large kitchen and plenty of space for entertaining. There should be a minimum of 3 bedrooms and around half an acre of garden. Also, some extra income would be welcome, so if there's space for some sort of B&B potential, that would be perfect. We have 3 handsome homes for Chris and Aileen to view, but it'll only be after they've seen each one that its price will be revealed. And we'll see if the mystery house can make all their dreams come true. Our first stop today is the small village of Longcott, not far from the North Wessex Downs area of outstanding natural beauty. The nearby town of Farringdon is a mere 10-minute drive away and has a good selection of local amenities, whilst Longcott itself has an award-winning pub and a local church. Our first house is in the heart of the village, overlooking the village green.
Wow.
Well.
It's huge. Look at the size of it.
Doesn't give a lot away. Some of it looks older because it is. built in the 17th century, and having it all rendered, which they did in the 1920s, it takes the age off it.
I think it looks good. It's very big. It looks as though it's been extended.
Yeah, this bit to the left-hand side,
Right.
around 20 years ago.
I like the flagpole.
Well, yes.
I can put my Malaysian flag up there. Yay!
They do, actually. The current owner has a whole set of flags, and they run
fantastic.
different flags up there according to
Fantastic.
what's going on in the nation
Fantastic.
at that time.
Love it already.
Keen to look inside?
Definitely.
Yes,
Good, come with me.
Definitely.
This detached property has a shared driveway, but does have its own double garage to the side, as well as space for 2 cars at the front. I'm hoping that Aileen will be impressed with what I'm about to show her on the inside. Let's start off with the most important room in the house.
Wow.
Love it. When are we moving in? This is my kind of kitchen.
Is it?
Yeah. This is a place where I'll be cooking and chatting with friends, and him even sometimes, you know.
Is he allowed in, is he?
Sometimes, you
I
know.
don't like to come in here.
No.
He can do the washing up. You know, there's a double
Well, that's out
sink.
there. Look, you can banish him to the washing up in
Perfect.
utility.
Perfect.
To let you know, you've got separate dining areas elsewhere throughout
yeah,
the house,
yeah.
so you can. I mean, there's a massive breakfast bar there.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the sounds of it, you'd probably use that if you're always having people hanging around in your kitchen.
We often have friends and people coming around and go and get themselves a cup of tea. I don't even have to tell them. They will just go and get the cup of tea. And, you know, they make themselves at home so much.
So far, we're liking it.
We're liking it.
Let's keep looking around. This extensive house also has a good-sized study and a comfortable shower room on this floor, as well as a large garden room. But we're heading through the dining room to check out the main living area.
Wow, oh, this is so cosy.
Wow.
Now, this is the 17th century part of the building, the old bit that you saw from when you stood in front of the green. So that would have been the old front door.
Yeah.
This would have been fairly modest.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, these are structural, but they're lovely, aren't they, these timbers and beams?
Beautiful wood.
Yeah.
And they're not too low as well.
No, they're all right. I mean, I know you said you didn't want these old beamed cottages, but this is all right, isn't it?
This is all right. It's not beam all
No.
the way through. So it's absolutely, yeah, this is doable.
Chris, are you surprised on how Aileen is reacting to this old property?
Yeah, I am surprising
You're
myself.
surprised?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised as well. Twice as surprised that you're surprised.
So far, so good. Heading upstairs, we find a large guest double with ensuite bathroom, a second double bedroom, and a smaller room currently used as a single with built-in wardrobes. There's also a family bathroom with twin sinks. But I'm keen to show Chris and Aileen where they'd be sleeping. You're now into your master suite.
Oh.
A huge ensuite with a separate shower.
It's huge.
And there's bags of storage here as well.
It's
Oh,
huge. Oh, my own
storage room.
balcony. Oh, you have to bring me a cup of tea in the mornings.
Okay.
I have a little bell I can ring and you can just bring the things up for me.
I'm starting to feel sorry for Chris now.
No, don't be.
Now, so far, though, you do seem to be really enjoying coming around this house.
I really love the balcony.
I thought
Thank
you
you,
might,
Johnny.
yeah. So, let's get to the garden.
Okay.
Start thinking about price.
Right.
Outside, the mature garden faces south and has a pretty decking area that could be ideal for Aileen's love of entertaining. Although I'm not sure it's quite big enough for Chris's ride-on mower. Now, I know you're not great on sizes of gardens yet. It is not half an acre of garden,
Okay.
admittedly. You probably guessed that. What do we think, though?
I think it's obviously smaller than what I had in mind.
OK.
But having said that, it has a lot of attractions to it because it's well laid out and ornamental and
It's mature as well, isn't it?
Mature,
Yeah.
yeah. Mature is a good word, yeah.
OK, time to guess the price. Let's have a look at how much this place might be based on what you've seen.
OK, I'm just going to play Mr. Bohr and go for the median of what we said and say 800,000.
All right?
I was thinking 750, 765, something like that.
All right, you're closer. This is on the market for offers in excess of £700,000.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
Now, I've kept a bit of information back because I wanted to show you this as it is.
Right.
OK.
Behind that fence, there is a small, detached, one-bedroom bungalow with a small garden.
Right.
OK.
That is available via separate negotiation. According to the owner, they'd look at offers around £150,000 for that.
OK.
OK.
It needs some work, but I thought, as you'd hinted at the fact that you'd like to entertain the ideas of maybe a bit of a business or something along the side, that might be something you would be interested in. So,
OK.
then you're into £850,000
Yeah.
plus. It needs doing up.
OK.
That's an interesting proposition because then it puts a new take on the whole idea of business opportunity or an income-generating opportunity as well.
Well, something for you to think about. I want you to go around this property on your own now, and then I'll meet you whenever you're done.
OK.
All right?
Thank you.
See you in a bit. Sitting towards the lower end of Chris and Aileen's budget range, this detached first property has 4 bedrooms, a large kitchen and a good-sized garden. Plus, there's the option to purchase the bungalow next door by separate negotiation if they do indeed want some income potential.
I think this house is very nice. It's slightly different to my expectations.
It's really interesting, the layout. I'm not sure about the garden, though. It's not the size that I'm looking for, really. The extra house, little bungalow at the back, is an amazing opportunity.
And it's something that I think we'd both be interested in investigating, because if it comes off, I think it would be a very good deal.
So, you've seen enough here.
Yes.
Ready for the next one?
Yes, please.
Definitely.
In the heart of the North Oxfordshire countryside, just outside Banbury, Broughton Castle sits surrounded by well-manicured lawns and a moat. Constructed from local Hornton ironstone, the original medieval manor house was built in 1306 by Sir John de Broughton. However, it was only with the later addition of crenellated battlement walls to the gatehouse that the manor was officially transformed into a castle. The castle has been in the same family since the late 14th century and is currently owned by the 21st Lord and Lady Say and Seal. The family name is actually Fiennes, and their son Martin now runs things day to day. Keen to explore more of the county's heritage, Chris and Aileen have come to meet him.
Right, so come on in. This is the Great Hall.
Oh, what an incredible room.
This is the centre of the medieval manor house. And the nice thing about this room is it really shows all the different dates of the house. So imagine shutters on the windows instead of glass and a big fire in the middle and a wooden ceiling. This ceiling here is much later, it's 1760, but it's basically a 1300 medieval hall.
This is a fantastic place. Who was Sir John de Broughton and how did he make his money?
He was a knight of Edward I. You know, late 13th century, early 14th century. Wealth was effectively created from the leading soldiers of the time, and I guess he was one of those. He lived here in this medieval manor house, sold it to a chap called William of Wykeham, who was effectively the Prime Minister of England, Chancellor of England, and his family are still here. I'm descended from his sister.
The castle was a rebel household during the time of the English Civil War, as the 8th Lord of Say and Seal was a prominent parliamentarian. The castle was at one point besieged before eventually falling into royalist hands until the war was over. Years later, the castle was leased to Lady Gordon Lennox, a woman whose influence can still be felt in the magnificent formal gardens.
Why is this place called the Ladies' Garden?
In the 19th century, 2 of my ancestors managed to go pretty well bankrupt and ended up letting the house to a family from 1885 for about 25 years. Wow. And the lady who lived here then, Lady Gordon Lennox, she was a fantastic gardener, and she designed and did the layout of this garden in about 1896. So it's her garden.
Who's responsible for the garden now, and have they kept it in the same layout as when it was created in the 19th century?
Yes, I think it's exactly the same layout as the 1896 one. I mean, originally, when Lady Gordon Lennox designed the garden, she had 14 gardeners. And now we've just got one, a fantastic gardener called Chris. And also my mother helps with the sort of creative design. She's like the creative director.
Yeah. What's it like living in a place like this?
Very cold in the winter, even in the summer, actually. But it's wonderful. It's fantastic. It's a real privilege.
Of course, no visit to a castle is complete without a tour of the battlements, so Martin's kindly agreed to show Chris and Aileen the imposing walls up close.
It's a bit of a cheat, the castle. It's not really a castle. It's a fortified manor house. In 1406, Thomas Wickham got a licence to crenellate. So if you put a certain amount of battlements, a gatehouse and a moat, you could call your house a castle. So it's really more for sort of social standing than defensive purposes. It's not a proper castle. But, you know, it was a warlike time, the early 15th century, so it may have had some function.
Has the castle ever actually been attacked?
Yes, October 1642, after the Battle of Edge Hill, which was 7 miles from here, the Royalist forces came here, we know there were 7 cannon lined up on the top of the park, and I suspect a certain amount of damage was done. I think about 20 people were killed in a sort of skirmish, and then, because it's not really a defensive castle, the keys were handed over and the house was in Royalist hands, probably till 1644, and then given back to the family.
Today, the castle is, above all else, a family home, and the best way to appreciate its full splendour is to take a punt on the moat. And what could be more Oxfordshire than that? Our house hunt continues in the small village of Curbridge. Here, the local pub hosts a quiz night every week, as well as offering regular wine tasting sessions. Nearby, the larger village of Ducklington is believed to take its name from a group of residents found near the village pond. There's also a medieval church that forms the heart of the local community, playing host to a busy social calendar all year round. And our second property is a short drive from the village centre.
Wow.
Now, step back from the road a little bit. I heard a wow, that sounds good.
Wow, this is beautiful.
It's stunning, isn't it?
Is it
Look
quite
at it.
old?
Parts of it date back to around 1750.
Okay.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
And other parts of it are pretty new,
Yeah,
which
you
give
can
you
see.
the modern features I think you'll like.
Yeah.
Okay.
OK.
So, happy so far?
Yeah.
Come with me.
OK, thank you.
This detached period property is made from local Cotswold stone. The gravel driveway gives way to a substantial 3-berth carport. We're heading inside to the living room. Now, I don't think you'd use that entrance every day, but I want you to feel like what your guests would feel as you walk through.
Wow.
Stunning, isn't it? It's beautiful.
I love it.
What about these beams, though?
I don't mind them.
I think it's very impressive. I mean, I like the wooden floors. We have some large rugs ourselves, so it would be nice to be able to lay those down and show them as well.
This is a nice place where people can come in and just be part of the fabric of the house and just chill in here.
I think as well, when you move out of London,
Oh, yes.
not if,
Oh, yes.
you want people to think, I get it, I get why they've moved. They've moved for this reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think as you walk around this house, you might be able to justify that move in each and every room for different reasons.
OK.
Come with me.
OK, let's go.
Making our way through the large formal dining room, we come to a modern garden room extension, complete with underfloor heating. And from here, we arrive at the kitchen. Now look at this.
Oh!
You're gonna like this,
And
aren't you?
eating place properly.
Wow. This
Yeah,
is
breakfast
grand.
kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah.
this
Grand.
is more like it. This really...
This is your room. You'll probably live in here, won't you?
Yep. Yeah.
I think this for you
Yeah.
is probably the best room in the house.
Yes. I would spend a lot of time in here. And with proper dining table and chairs,
Yeah.
I would never to leave there. I just plug my laptop here and work from the desk over here, and that's me sorted.
Well-
it's home. It will be just be home. It would be just perfect.
This is music to your ears, though, isn't it? I mean,
It is.
You've long harboured designs to
he
move out
has.
to Oxfordshire, but
He has.
then when you come and see it, you know, the manifestation of what you can get out here in Oxfordshire, it's good news, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've done good, Johnny.
The ground floor also has a small study that could be an ideal sanctuary for Chris. There are 2 more floors. The roof space of the original part has been converted into an attic room that could make a small bedroom. On the first floor, in the eaves above the kitchen, there's a guest bedroom as well as 2 other characterful doubles, all served by a modern family bathroom. As we make our way to the master, I'd be interested to see if it measures up to Aileen's expectations. Now look at this wonderful room.
Wow.
Oh,
It's beautifully decorated, isn't it?
wasn't what I was expecting to see.
No.
You've got a huge ensuite, separate bath and
Right.
shower.
Okay.
So this is definitely a master suite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice room, but not what I imagined, really. I don't know what I expected. I wanted the room, I guess, as a room, not having a dressing area there as well, I suppose. I don't really know. I don't know what I was expecting, but...
And it's only like
Look at
it's
that.
only like a room with more storage in it. You don't have to use this as your dressing room.
True, also.
I think it's beautiful.
Right. Well, you know what's here. You'll have a good look around
Yeah.
this place later
Yeah.
on, obviously.
Okay.
Let's go outside and start thinking about price.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Aileen doesn't seem as impressed as she was with the kitchen, but let's see what she thinks of the outside. The well-maintained garden has a patio area, perfect for entertaining on warm summer evenings. And there's a feeling of open space that I hope will appeal to Chris. Wonderful open aspect to the back.
Beautiful.
But look at the rear of the
Wow.
property.
Now that's something.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful.
So
Look
we're
at that.
south-westerly facing. So you get a load of sun.
OK.
These, ripe for a bit of veggie planting, aren't they?
I saw. There's a nice square area which is easy to maintain as well.
It looks very good.
They've done a brilliant job with it.
Yeah.
Now's the tricky bit. You've got to try and value it. Chris?
I'm going to go for about 875,000.
OK, Aileen?
I think around £850,000.
Well, good guesses, actually. It's on the market for offers around £895,000.
OK.
OK.
Now's the chance for you to have a look around this place. Get a sense of what it's like to have all this extra space in the countryside. All right?
OK.
I'll catch you later.
Thanks.
Right at the top end of their budget at £895,000, this detached village home has 5 possible bedrooms, a roomy modern kitchen, 4 reception rooms and a large garden with views out over neighbouring farmland.
Ooh, this is nice and neat. It's the guest bedroom, I guess.
It's very nice, isn't it? Very nicely decorated.
It's nice and compact, isn't it?
It's a very nice house. I think I like its location in particular. I like the way that it backs onto open fields with woods and open ground behind it. I think Aileen likes it. I don't think she wants to admit it to herself. Wow, look at this.
Oh, this is the single room. It's a
Yeah.
big single room.
I like the exposed brickwork.
Look, they've even made the plaster just sort of match.
I like the way they've blended that in to keep that feature.
This house has ticked all the boxes. It's so light and airy, and everything will fit. All our stuff will fit in this house so nicely. Definitely changing my attitude about moving from smoggy London into the rural climes of Oxfordshire, which is absolutely beautiful around here. It is.
Well, you were long enough, which I always think is good news. Did you enjoy walking around there?
Oh, perfect.
It was fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll remind you
Yes,
of that
I
word
know.
this time tomorrow. Something to think about?
Yes, for
definitely.
sure, for sure.
Our Oxfordshire property safari continues as we're helping Chris and Aileen from Wimbledon in South London find a new home in the country with a budget of up to £900,000. Still to come, our mystery house just keeps on giving.
Oh, this is what I'm talking about.
Fantastic.
Oh, that is such a good space.
And I'll be learning the secret behind a good barbecue.
One of my favourite ways to get the flavour of the coal straight into the food is to literally put it straight on the coal.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I'm not sure you could ask for better reactions than we saw from, well, Aileen in particular in property number 2. But on reflection, I do wonder whether or not she's waiting for that thunderbolt moment. Sometimes it comes from a completely unexpected corner. And today, that's what the mystery property is all about. Sure, it's got its foibles, and I think Aileen in particular might struggle to see through some of them. But if she can, then she'll be rewarded with a property that will be, well, a doorway to a completely new lifestyle and adventure. Let's see how we go. As Journey's End draws near, we're crossing over the county border into Wiltshire and making our way to the market town of Highworth on the edge of the Cotswolds. This historic town is an eclectic mix of old and new, with buildings that date back as far as the 16th and 17th centuries. St Michael and All Angels Church in the centre of town has seen 1,000 years of history unfold and notably bears the scars of cannon fire from the Civil War. Just outside town, our mystery house is a short 2-minute drive away. Now, what do we think of this?
Wow, this is unexpected.
Oh,
Wow.
my! Chocolate box.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
this house is almost a cliche,
Yeah.
but when we saw it, we thought this could be it. Not just because of the beauty of its facade, but what it gives you the more
Right.
you walk through.
OK.
So you like the look of it?
Yes.
I think it's beautiful. I don't know if it's for me.
Why not?
Thatch roof, but
Thatch
well,
roofs-
I'm waiting to be, surprised.
Thatch roofs, they take a bit more in maintenance costs than your normal
Okay.
slate or tile roof, but we've been assured this has got at least 10 years left to run.
Okay.
This
Okay.
the main thatch as it is. The ridge normally needs to be replaced more frequently. But
OK.
modern methods of thatching and modern insurers or more recent players to the insurance game means that this kind of property is much more accessible.
OK.
To townies, like yourselves.
Yeah.
Let's go inside.
OK.
Cute.
With a sweeping gravelled driveway, this property comes with a double garage and plenty of room for parking. Entering the property, our first stop is the living room. In we come.
Ooh.
Wow.
You like this one, do you, Chris?
This is a very comfortable room. We've got a corner suite. I've already got it in this corner.
Have you now?
Yeah.
Okay. You know me and beams.
But they're not low, are they?
No, true. But there's lots of them.
I think it adds character to the straight lines.
There is a
It
lot of
doesn't make
character.
it clinical, does it?
But you like so far?
This
Chris
part,
does.
Yeah. I can see the cleaner lines elsewhere, so maybe if this is the only room, I can deal with that.
Come on then, let's have a look.
Okay, cool.
Now then, at the back of the property,
I've got my tractor lawnmower already bought now.
I think you need a fleet tractor.
Wow!
I can't wait to show you out there because you've
Okay.
got an amazing asset there that I think could be made more of.
OK.
In the meantime, though,
Yep.
Yeah.
kitchen. You do a lot of cooking, I know.
Yes. Yes, it's a bit small for my liking, but it's workable.
It's not as big as the other properties.
No.
But I think
Yeah.
we wanted to downsize it. We don't want
true,
a huge
actually.
property because there's
That's
only
true.
2 of us.
Yeah.
Next door to the kitchen is a large conservatory that could be a great space for entertaining friends. Or if she'd prefer, Aileen could always try the formal dining room. This floor also has a neat utility room that's used to access a downstairs shower room. There's also a double guest bedroom complete with its own bathroom. Upstairs isn't quite as expansive, but there's a good-sized master with exposed beams, as well as a decent-sized double bedroom with 2 smaller single rooms, one of which is currently used as a dressing room. The whole floor is served by a whitewashed family bathroom. That leaves us with a moment Chris and Aileen have been looking forward to ever since their first glimpse out of the kitchen window. It's time to talk garden. Come on then. You wanted space?
Oh,
You've got it.
this is what I'm talking about.
What'd you say? You wanted at least half an acre. How big do you think this is?
Half an acre.
And then some. Plot size,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
entire plot size, you've got about 1.5 acres.
Ooh.
OK, fantastic.
Oh, that is such a good space.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, before we start thinking about how much all this is going to cost you, I want to show you another reason why we brought you here. Come in.
Another reason.
This impressive garden is a veritable ocean of green, seeming to stretch on for miles. There are plenty of secluded spots for outdoor entertaining as well. And at the far end, there's 2 outbuildings, one used for storage and the other, well, Chris and Aileen are about to find out. Now, this is quite something.
Grand
It's like the
piano.
orchestra room.
This
Okay,
is a
true.
building with underfloor heating, electrics all installed, plumbing. You've got a loo next door,
Yeah.
holiday lets
Yeah, I was going along your line
in
of
the
thinking
future.
there.
Okay.
Obviously, all subject to obtaining the relative planning consents.
Yeah.
But you've got a footprint of buildings here.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just need to carve it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to start thinking about price then.
Oh.
OK? Let's go to the garden, because it is quite
Okay.
spectacular, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It certainly seems like I've given our couple lots to think about. It's time to see if they can put a figure on it all.
I think it's going to be way above our budget.
Do you want to make a guess?
£930,000.
OK. And Chris?
I'm going to go, actually, for the same as yesterday, £850,000.
Well, I've got bad news because you're both way out.
Oops.
This place is on the market for offers around £700,000.
You're joking.
For an
Really?
acre and a half.
Acre and a half of land, all those outbuildings. OK, they need converting, but
Yeah.
with £200,000 left
Yeah.
from your budget...
Yeah.
Wow.
That takes a different slant on things, doesn't it?
You've got lots of time now, lots of gardens and property to walk around and discuss things.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Catch you later on.
Thank you.
All right.
Enjoy it.
Thank
Thank
you.
With a guide price of £700,000, This thatched cottage comes with 5 possible bedrooms, 2 reception rooms, 1.5 acres and 2 outbuildings ripe for conversion if Chris and Aileen decide they do want that additional revenue.
This house has an amazing package of land with it, really. You've got the open lawns here, the workshop, you've got the building, which can be used for something in the future. Thatch is something I've never looked at, to be honest. But it's been beautifully decorated and renovated inside. It's stunning, and there's so much to it.
I'm blown away by it for the price it is. I'm definitely considering so much more now. So I think Chris will be very happy to hear that, but don't tell him yet, just yet.
Well, is that the doorway to a new life?
I tell you.
Who knows? I think you two need to find somewhere to sit down and have a chat.
I think so.
For sure, yeah.
I'll take you there. For thousands of years, woodlands have been used in the production of charcoal. It's estimated that over the summer months, the UK buys around 60,000 tonnes of the stuff each year. And yet 98% of all charcoal burned on our barbecues has clocked up some serious air miles, imported from as far afield as Indonesia and the Amazon rainforest, with much of it coming from unsustainable sources or deforestation. One response to this is coming from Matt Williams at the Oxford Charcoal Company, who's using Forestry Commission approved wood combined with modern efficient production techniques that have a substantially less harmful impact on the environment. Matt.
Hi, Johnny. How you doing?
Good, mate. This looks incredible. So, you make charcoal right here in Oxford.
Sure.
Why?
Well, we haven't really had a charcoal industry in the UK of any size for, I don't know, a couple of 100 years, really.
Wow, as long as that.
We wanted to have a go at a project and see if we could find a viable way to make a nice, sustainable English charcoal product.
You're not burning the wood.
No.
That's got to be the key element to this.
That's it. Well, do you know, in traditional charcoal making, you would set fire to it. Let the thing rage for a couple of hours, and then you start to cut the oxygen supply down, so it's just a smoulder. But you're actually burning your stock in order to make the heat to make that happen.
It's estimated about 15% of global deforestation every year is down to people making charcoal in unsustainable ways. Matt believes that if you think about where your wood comes from and think about how you're going to handle the conversion process, then you end up with an efficiently made, really sustainable fuel. Every batch of wood he uses is given a number, meaning the finished product can be traced back to source. So this container has come out of your kiln now. So we've got charcoal?
Yeah.
What's next then?
Johnny, I want to get you just to pull this chain, and as you pull that, it's just going to tip this out and it will pour into the bag on the other side.
I can do that. Now, look, you've told me that your process of making charcoal here in Oxford is far more efficient. What are you doing different here?
What we've done is separated the burning of the wood from the heating of the wood. So we just heat it up indirectly. So every bit of wood in there becomes charcoal, and that's the secret to having it as efficient as you can.
These principles have been around for a long time, and Matt freely admits they're not reinventing the wheel, merely trying to refine it for the modern age.
This is pure sweet chestnut charcoal, and there are a couple of things that make it really obvious that it's sweet chestnut. Chestnut breaks radially, so you have quite a lot of airflow through this. When you're cooking with it, it really wants to burn hot.
Right.
It's incredible for grilling, you know, steaks or burgers or whatever, things like that.
The final stage in the process is the curing, which takes about 8 days. Which leads us neatly onto the part I've been looking forward to the most, as Matt's agreed to show me some of his charcoal in action.
This is wild cherry charcoal, and
Right, OK.
one of my favourite ways to get the flavour of the coal straight into the food is to literally put it straight on the coal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Really?
And because it's so hot, you can take them off and you get all that flavour, but you can still leave yourself with a nice medium rare centre to the steak.
Now, I wouldn't dream of putting my steaks on the charcoal I've used at home. It stinks of paraffin. I don't know where it's been.
Yeah.
This is different then, I take it?
Yeah, you really would not want that because you'd be absorbing all of those kind of added chemicals straight into your food. But with a really lovely pure charcoal, I don't think there's a better way of cooking a steak. Just throw it straight onto the coals, flip it over after 2 minutes, you know, and you're pretty much done.
Where do we start?
Well, I guess we should slice out some of the steaks. We've got some nice bread, and we'll make ourselves a little banquet.
Thank you very much. That barbecue taste that hits the meat is quite sensational.
Well, I think with a fruit wood like wild cherry, you get those kind of sweet notes coming through. Yeah, and you really feel it, don't you?
Well, Matt, I'm hugely impressed by this. By something I never gave any thought about, where my fuel comes from and how much of an impact it can have on food. It tastes absolutely delicious.
Excellent.
I'm going to scoff on if you don't mind.
Yeah, you crack on.
It really is remarkable to think that by choosing sustainably produced fuel, we're not only improving the flavour, but also helping the fight against deforestation too. Well, I'm pretty confident that after today's house tour, the mystery property will be coming out on top. But has it done enough to prize Aileen away from her London life? Let's find out. You've had a bit of time to think things through. Now, for my mind, your favourite property, Chris, was the Mystery House. Aileen, I'm finding you a little harder to read. What's your favourite as a couple?
I think the third one, for sure. I mean, we both, I think, were aligned in liking together.
So, yeah, a thatched house. Ever thought about buying one of them?
All of the buildings that have been built like that I've visited, they've had wonky walls, lots of open brickwork, and they're very low as well, you know.
They're old and they're made for smaller people.
Yeah, so going into that building and finding that that wasn't the case was quite nice, actually.
I think that's the benefit of letting someone else choose a property for you. You might have seen that on a estate agent's brochure or on the internet and thought, no, small thatched cottage, we're not going in.
The proportions actually are quite ideal for us as a couple, just two of us in the house. We went and had a look afterwards as well and sort of sussing the areas out, thinking, oh, yeah, that will work for this and that will work for that, and thinking, you know, it's only two of us. Why do we need a mansion?
So as we started to walk towards the back of the Mystery House, it started to reveal itself as to why we'd chosen that as a property for you guys, hasn't it?
It's unbelievable, really, to find all those things for the budget. There are several options that we could do with that space, with that studio space.
I think what you should do is go back to the property, make some inquiries with the local planning authority, just to get an idea of their plan and what you can do with those outbuildings. That will give you an idea of what you can earn from it as well.
That's true. That's what we were hoping to do, was to, you know, the potential to actually build on that and have something really spectacularly, you know, not just for ourselves as a maybe a business or something anyway.
Yeah.
That we can both, you know, learn to grow together as well.
I think you've come a long way from not wanting to leave London. You found a great house. Your reactions were fantastic in the mystery property. What I'd really like you to do is just keep this momentum. Keep this going forward, yeah?
Yeah, good
Will
advice.
do, yeah.
Please let us know what you decide, won't you?
We will do.
Definitely. Thank you.
We will do.
Well, Chris and Aileen in particular have come a long way in these past couple of days, but I do hope they heed my advice and maintain this momentum. Let's face it, having a favourite property is a huge step towards a more rural existence. Whether that new life begins in the mystery property, well, that remains to be seen. I wish them the very best of luck. If you'd like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England and need our help, you can apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.